Hey, Shik.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Not too bad, not too bad.
I I still got my Zoom thing on the background there, but I took off my the green screen because it was obstructing the air conditioner, but now the air conditioner is broken, so I have to get a new air conditioner.
Oh,
Welcome to home ownership. My friends always used to say. Hold on a second. So we're on text 31, I believe.
yeah, I couldn't remember if we were on 30 or 31, but yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
I just got done reading since last weekend. I got done reading the first chapter of this book called I'll Build You a Temple.
Oh, yeah, I have that. I haven't read it yet, but I have it.
You read that, or you have it? I mean,
I have it, yeah, but I haven't read it yet.
it's a hard copy, right?
Yeah.
Hardbound, yeah. Yeah, it's really a nice, and Giri Raj is such a nice, sweet devotee. And he talks about how, Prabhupada's important points that he makes, and how they went through so much trouble. The first chapter is all about the fight to build the temple. And even after they got the permit, they still had more problems after that.
Sure.
They couldn't get it authorized for like more than a year. But they actually came and demolished the temple because the former owners, they paid the municipality and the police, and they demolished the temple, except for they started tearing off the roof of the deity's shelter, but they got somebody to interject and stop that just in time. But they dragged this one woman devotee out by the hair, dragged her across the field, and it was like horrific. So, but anyway, the first chapter was 9 hours long.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's like 220 pages. So it took me 9 hours to read it, a couple of days. Second chapter is almost as long. But that was quite a fight. I mean, you really get the idea of, that we have to fight for Krishna when the time comes, especially in regards to like something like this that's so important in a Krishna consciousness. Even after they got permission of the deed, they wouldn't give them a certificate to build on that land. And so what happened was, they said, well, it creates a nuisance, or it's like there may be traffic problems, So that's not what it says in the Bhagavad-gītā, Satatam Kirtiyantamam. All the great souls are always chanting Krishna's glories, And so these people that oppose Krishna consciousness, they're just like less than animals, And but great souls like Prabhupada, he just had to tolerate that. And he went through all kinds of machinations and talking to officials and trying to organize this kind of civil disobedience with all his life members. And I don't know exactly, because I'm still on the second chapter here. I've read about 3.5 hours of the second chapter just today, but it's an amazing story, And Prabhupada said after it was all done, after they got permission for the land, he said, someone should write a book. And so Giriraj was there for the whole time. He was there for more than a decade, through every single step of the way. So he's a great soul.
Yeah, I'm somewhat familiar with the story.
It was Juhu
TV series.
They call it. They used to call it Bombay.
Yeah.
It's near Mumbai, right on the ocean there. It's only like right on this beachfront, and it's a beautiful place. But when they first started out, it was like a rat-infested, huge mosquitoes that were malaria infested, and rats and snakes, and it was like really austere because they couldn't build anything on it. They had just a temporary shelter, and the devotees were there fighting for years to do that. But it was Prabhupada's desire. He promised the deity. He said, "My dear sir, I'm going to build you a temple." And so he stuck to his word through thick and thin. And, of course, now it's like really nice. But he spent more time there than any other place in ISKCON, I think. He spent more than 500 days on that property trying to get this done. So it was very important for him to do that. So anyway, text 31. Yahi meko bhavan ugra rupo namo stute devavara prasida vignatam ichami bhavantam madhyam nahi prajanami tava paritam. Synonyms. Akyahi, please explain, make unto me, kahu, bhavan, you, ugra rupa, fierce form, namastu, obeisances, te, unto you, devavara, O great one amongst the demigods, persida, be gracious, vignatam, to know, ichami, I wish, bhavatam, to you, adyam, the original, not he, certainly, prajanami, I know, tava, your paritam, mission. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. Offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. You can read the second one here.
Sure. Text 32. Bhagavan uvacha kalosmi loka kshayakrit pravidho lokan samahartum iha pravrta rite pitvam na bhavishanti sarve Yevastita prati anikeshu yoda. Synonyms. Sri Bhagavan uvacha, the personality of Godhead said, Kala, time, Asmi, I am, Loka, of the worlds, Shayakrit, the destroyer, Pravirda, great, Lokan, all people, Samahartum, in destroying, Iha, in this world, Pravirta, engaged, Urte, without, except for, Api, even, Tvam, you, Na, never, Bhavishyanti, will be, Sarve, all, yea, who, Vistita, situated, Prati Anikeshu, on the opposing sides, Yodha, the soldiers. Take it up a little bit. Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. Purport. Although Arjuna knew that Krishna was his friend in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he was puzzled by the various forms exhibited by Krishna. Therefore, he asked further about the actual mission of this devastating force. It is written in the Vedas that the supreme truth destroys everything, even the Brahmanas, as stated in the Katha Upanishad 1-2-25. Yasya Brahma cha kshatram cha ubhe bhavata odana mrityur yasyo paschenam kaita veda yatrasa. Eventually, all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, and everyone else are devoured like a meal by the Supreme. This form of the Supreme Lord is the all-devouring giant, and here Krishna presents himself in that form of all-devouring time. Except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. Arjuna was not in favor of the fight, and he thought it was better not to fight. Then there would be no frustration. And in reply, the Lord is saying that even if he did not fight, every one of them would be destroyed, for that was his plan. If Arjuna stopped fighting, they would die in another way. Death could not be checked, even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is the law of nature.
And it's interesting that he says, that they'll all be devoured like a meal. It says, you could see their heads were crushed by the teeth of the supreme, the universal form. It just reminds me of something that Thoreau said. Thoreau is an early transcendentalist, American transcendentalist. He wrote Walden. But in that book, he said, if you are surrendered, if you believe in the Brahman, Supreme Brahman, you can eat the entire world. I don't know, I don't know why you'd want to, but, maybe the power to do that would be transferred to some kind of mystic power, a yogi can actually create an entire planet. So I guess they could destroy an entire planet too, whatever. but those are all material powers. It doesn't have anything to do with spiritual power. Spiritual power is much more, much more important. Because those things are, mystic powers. There's 7 types of mystic powers. You become lighter than the lightest, heavier than the heaviest. You can grab anything in the universe and bring it here and control people's minds and even create a planet, like I said. But these things are insignificant in comparison with devotional service. The devotee wants just to serve. Everybody else, the karmis and the gyanis, are desiring liberation or whatever. The karmis desire, some benediction for material gain. These are insignificant compared to the devotional service to Krishna. It's like an ocean of bliss compared to whatever Brahmananda, the bliss of being one with Brahman is nothing, is like a 1/1,000,000th of a fraction of the amount of bliss that you get from serving Krishna. Some kind of fraction like that. Anyway, Tasmat Tvam Utista Yaso Labhashva Jitva Satrun Bungshva Rajyan Samridam Mayait Vaite Nihita Purvameva Nimita Matram Balasvat Savya Sachin. Tasmat, therefore, Tvam you, Utista, get up, Yasa fame, Labhasya gain, Jitva conquering Shatrun enemies, Bungshva enjoy Rajyam kingdom, Samridam flourishing Maya by me, Eva certainly Ete all these, Nihata killed, Purvameva by previous arrangement, Nimata Matram just the cause, Bhava become Savisachin, O Savisachi. Translation, therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They're already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Savisachi, could be but an instrument in the fight. You know what? Another thing I read about Prabhupada was appealing to different authorities in Bombay, even the governor of the province there, that back in the old days, devotees or the administrative heads used to be Rajarshi, saintly administrators, used to be saintly kings like Arjuna or Yudhisthira, and Krishna, you can tell the importance of that because Krishna wanted to install Yudhisthira on the throne in this battle here. And so, he was encouraging this one administrative official in India at that time to, take up their cause and see if you can, get the governing body there in that district to okay because he was life member. They made a lot of life members back then, but it's really important that even though a devotee is not involved in politics, if you can, get some kind of like a person that's in power and they are devotees also, then it's much better for the society, because then they have some kind of sympathy for the devotees and they're spreading of Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, it just creates problems. They had no problems anywhere else in the world. But Bombay, they had huge problems. And it was just because of a few envious individuals. And they had problem after problem. They had 99 problems. So I'm just reading the purport now, right?
Yeah, we're in the purport.
Savisachin refers to one who can shoot arrows very expertly in the field. Thus, Arjuna is addressed as an expert warrior capable of delivering arrows to kill his enemies. Quote, just become an instrument, nirmata matram. This word is also very significant. The whole world is moving according to the plan of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Foolish persons who do not have sufficient knowledge think that nature is moving without a plan and all manifestations are but accidental formations. There are many so-called scientists who suggest that perhaps it looks like this, perhaps like that, but there is no question of perhaps and maybe, end quote. There is a specific plan being carried out in this material world. What is that plan? This cosmic manifestation is a chance for the conditioned souls to go back to Godhead, back to home. As long as they have the domineering mentality, which makes them try to lord it over material nature, they're conditioned. But anyone who can understand the plan of the Supreme Lord and cultivate Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. The creation and destruction of the cosmic manifestation are under the superior guidance of God. Thus, the battle of Kurukshetra was fought according to the plan of God. Arjuna was refusing to fight, but he was told that he should fight in accordance with the desire of the Supreme Lord. Then he would be happy. If one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he's perfect.
Text 34. Dranam cha bhishmam cha jayan dratham cha karnam tathanyan api yoda viran maya hatam stvam jahi ma yastita yudyasva jetasi rane sapatanan. Synonyms. Dronam cha, also Drona. Bhishmam cha, also Bhishma. Jayadratham cha, also Jayadratha. Karnam, Karna, Tatha, also. Anyan, others. Api, certainly. Yoda Viran, great warriors. Maya, by me. Hatan, already killed. Tvam, you. Jahi, destroy. Ma, do not. Yat hista, be disturbed. Yudyasva, just fight. Jeta asi, you will conquer. Rane, in the fight. Sapatnan, enemies. Translation. Drona, Bhishma, Jayadrath, Karna, and all the other great warriors have already been destroyed by me. Therefore, kill them and do not be disturbed. Simply fight, and you will vanquish your enemies in battle. Purport. Every plan is made by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he is so kind and merciful to his devotees that he wants to give the credit to his devotees who carry out his plan according to his desire. Life should therefore move in such a way that everyone acts in Krishna consciousness and understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the medium of the spiritual master. The plans of the Supreme Personality of Godhead are understood by his mercy, and the plans of the devotees are as good as his plans. One should follow such plans and be victorious in the struggle for existence.
Yeah, this is really important. So, the devotees, if they simply follow the instructions of the spiritual master, if they please the spiritual master by being enthusiastic and trying to execute his order as he desires, then Krishna is automatically pleased. By pleasing the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased. And by not pleasing the spiritual master, then you can't make any advancement. So to be very enthusiastic to execute the order and the mission of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by engaging in service that will somehow or other please the spiritual master according to one's ability, and one should try their best to execute that plan. And because Krishna gives all the credit to his devotees. I was just reading, they put on a play of Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakasipu, and Lord Nrsimhadev in the Juhu Beach area. And Prabhupada was looking at the play and seeing all the players, and his eyes would widen, and he was like really, really involved. It was as if he was seeing Lord Brahma and Lord Nrsimhadev and everything, but not these devotees that were dressed in costume. He was actually seeing these personalities, And so he was so intensely watching the play, and he was pleased by their performance. And even he said, first of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Hiranyakashipu. He did a good job. And all the devotees were laughing. But the devotees, when they were praised by Srila Prabhupada like that, one devotee just said he just wanted to melt into the floor, into the cracks in the tiles, because that is like the highest bliss. If you can somehow or other please the spiritual master, then, Krishna is pleased, and you don't have to do it. There's no higher thing than that. So the devotees were always trying to execute the plans, because Krishna is always trying to give this credit to his devotees. And there's always a competition. The devotee always wants to give the credit to God, and God always wants to give the credit to his devotees. It's a never-ending competition. And that's why it's important to be serious in that way and just try to execute the order of the guru and try to figure out his plan and execute it according to his desire. Text 35, Sanjaya Vacha. Echach Chutva Vachanam Keshavasya. Kutanjalir Vetanama Kirti. Namaskritva Bhuya Evaham Krishnam Sagadadam Gadgadam Bita Bita Pranamya. Sanjaya Vacha, Sanjaya said, Etat, thus, Shrutva, hearing, Vachanam, the speech, Keshavasya of Krishna, Krita Anjali, with folded hands, Vepamana, trembling, Kirita Arjuna, Namaskritva, offering obeisances, Bhuya, again, Eva also, Aha, said, Krishnam unto Krishna, Sad Gadgadam, with a faltering voice, Bita Bita, fearful, Pranamya, offering obeisances. Where am I? Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the trembling Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. He fearfully spoke to Lord Krishna in a faltering voice as follows. Purport. As we've already explained, because of the situation created by the universal form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna became bewildered and wondered. Thus, he began to offer his respectful obeisances to Krishna again and again, and with faltering voice, he began to pray, not as a friend, but as a devotee in wonder.
Text 36. Arjuna Uvacha, Stane Rishikesha Tava Prakritya, Jagat Pravershyate Anurajyate Cha, Rakshamsi Vitani Disho Dravanti, Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha. Synonyms. Arjuna Uvacha, Arjuna said, Stane, rightly. Rishika Isha, O master of the senses, of all senses. Tava, your. Prakirtya, by the glories. Jagat, the entire world. Prarishyati, is rejoicing. Anurajyate, is becoming attached. Cha, and. Rakshamsi, the demons. Vitani, out of fear. Disha, in all directions. Dravanti, are fleeing. Sarve, all. Namasyanti, are offering respects. Cha, also. Siddha Sangha, the perfect human beings. Arjuna said, O master of the senses, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respective homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. Purport. Arjuna, after hearing from Krishna about the outcome of the battle of Kurukshetra, became enlightened, and as a great devotee and friend of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he said that everything done by Krishna is quite fit. Arjuna confirmed that Krishna is the maintainer and the object of worship for the devotee, and the destroyer of the undesirables. His actions are all equally good for all. Arjuna understood herein that when the battle of Kurukshetra was being concluded in outer space, there were present many demigods, siddhas, and the intelligentsia of the higher planets, and they were observing the fight because Krishna was present there. When Arjuna saw the universal form of the Lord, the demigods took pleasure in it, but others, who were demons and atheists, could not stand it when the Lord was praised. Out of their natural fear of the devastating form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they fled. Krishna's treatment of the devotees and the atheist is praised by Arjuna. In all cases, a devotee glorifies the Lord because he knows that whatever he does is good for all.
It's all good. Text 37. Kasmat chate namaran mahatman. Garhisya se brahmano pi adikartye. Ananta devas devesa jaganivasa. Tvam akasham sat asat tad param pat yat. Synonyms. Kasmat, why? Cha, also. Te, unto you. Na, not. Namaran, they should offer proper obeisances. Mahatman, O great one. Garisyase, who are better. Brahmana than Brahma. Api, although Adikarte, to the Supreme Creator. Ananta, O unlimited. Devesha, O God of the gods. Jagat Nivasa, O refuge of the universe. Tvam, you are Aksharam, imperishable. Sat Asat, the cause and effect. Tat Param, transcendental yet, because. Translation. O great one, greater than even than Brahma, you are the original creator. Then why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? O limitless one, O God of gods, refuge of the universe, you are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. Purport. By this offering of obeisances, Arjuna indicates that Krishna is worshipable by everyone. He's all-pervading, and he's the soul of every soul. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Mahatma, which means that he's most magnanimous and unlimited. Ananta indicates that there is nothing which is not covered by the influence and energy of the Supreme Lord. And Devasa means that he's the controller of all demigods and is above them all. He is the shelter of the whole universe. Arjuna also thought that it was fitting that all the perfect living entities and powerful demigods offer their respectful obeisances unto him because no one is greater than him. Arjuna especially mentions that Krishna is greater than Brahma because Brahma is created by him. Brahma is born out of the lotus stem grown from the navel abdomen of the Garbhodakshay Vishnu, who is Krishna's plenary expansion. Therefore, Brahma and Lord Shiva, who is born of Brahma, and all other demigods must offer their respectful obeisances. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, that the Lord is respected by Lord Shiva and Brahma and similar other demigods. The word Aksharam is very significant because this material creation is subject to destruction, but the Lord is above this material creation. He's the cause of all causes, and being so, he's superior to all the conditioned souls within this material world, as well as the material cosmic manifestation itself. He is therefore the all-great supreme.
Text 38. Tvam Adideva Purusha Purunas Tvam Asya Vivashaya Param Nidhanam Vetasi Vedyam Cha Param Cha Dhamma Tvayam Tatam Vishvam Ananta Rupa. Synonyms. Tvam, you, Adi Deva, the original supreme God. Purusha, personality. Nuna, old. Tvam, you. Asya, of this. Vishvasya, universe. Param, transcendental. Nidhanam, refuge. Veta, the knower. Asi, you are. Vedyam, the knowable. Cha, and. Param, transcendental. Cha, and. Dhamma, refuge. Tvaya, by you. Tatam, pervaded. Vishvam, the universe. Anantarupa, O unlimited form. Translation. You are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You are the knower of everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are the supreme refuge above the, please take it up, above the material modes. O limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. Purport. Everything is resting on the supreme personality of Godhead. Therefore, he is the ultimate rest. Nidhanam means that everything, even the Brahman effulgence, rests on the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. He is the knower of everything that is happening in this world. And if knowledge has any end, he is the end of all knowledge. Therefore, he is the known and the knowable. He is the object of knowledge because he is all pervading. Because he is the cause in the spiritual world, he is transcendental. He is also the chief personality in the transcendental world.
Text 39. Varyumao Gnir Varuna Shashanka Prajapatis Tvam Pratpita Mahascha Namo Namaste Stu Sahasra Kritva Unas Chaba Buyo Pi Namo Namaste. Synonyms: Vayu, air; Yama, the controller; Agni, fire; Varuna, water; Śikṣāṣtaka, the moon; Prajapati, Brahma; Tvam, you; Prapitamaha, the great grandfather; Cha, also; Nama, my respects; Tama, Nama, again my respects; Te, unto you; Astu, that there be; Sahasrakritva, 1,000 times; Punat, Cha, and again; Bhuya, again; Api, also; Nama, my offering my respects; Namaste, offering my respects unto you. Translation, you are air, and you are the supreme controller. You are fire, you are water, and you are the moon. You are Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. And therefore, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again. Report. The Lord is addressed here as air, because air is the most important representation of all the demigods, being all pervasive. Arjuna also addressed Krishna as great grandfather because he's the father of Brahma, the first living creature in the universe.
Text 40. Nama Purashta Ratha Purashtataste Namostutaye Sarvata Eva Sarva Ananta Viryamita Vikramastvam Sarvam Samapnoshi Tato Si Sarva. Synonyms. Nama, offering obeisances. Purustat, from the front. Ata, also. Purshtata, from behind. Te, unto you. Nama Atsu. I offer my respects. Te, unto you. Sarvata, from all sides. Eva, indeed. Sarva, because you are everything. Ananta Virya, unlimited potency. Amita Vikrama, and unlimited force. Tvam, you. Sarvam, everything. Samapnoshi, you cover. Tata, therefore. See, you are. Sarva, everything. Translation. Obeisances to you from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. Purport. Out of loving ecstasy for Krishna, his friend Arjuna is offering his respects from all sides. He is accepting that he is the master of all potencies and all prowess and far superior to all the great warriors assembled on the battlefield. It is said in the Vishnu Purana 1969, Yuyam Tevagato Deva, Samipam Devatagana, Satvam Eva Jagat Shastra, Yata Sarva Gato Bravan. Whoever comes before you, even if he be a demigod, is created by you, O Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Texts 41 and 2. Shaketi matva prasabam yad uktam, ye he Krishna he yadava he Shaketi, ajanata mahimanam tavedam, maya pramadat pranayena vapi, yashava asat kritosi, viharasas vyashaya sanabodjanesu, eko tapapi vachuta taksamaksham taksham mae tvam aham apramayam. Shaka, friend, iti, thus, matva, thinking, prashabam, presumptuously. Yet whatever Uktam said, hey Krishna, oh Krishna, hey Yadava, oh Yadava, hey Shaki, oh my dear friend, iti, thus, anjanata, without knowing, mahimanam, glories, tava, your, idam, this, maya, by me, pramadat, out of foolishness, pranayena, out of love, vapi, either, yet, whatever, cha, also, avahasartam, for joking, asatkrita, dishonored, asi, you have been, vihara, in relaxation, saya, in lying down, asana, sitting, vajanesu, while eating together, eka, alone, atava, or api, also, achuto, infallible one, tat samaksham, among companions, tat, all those shamaye, ask forgiveness, tvam, from you, aham, I, apramayam, immeasurable. Translation. Thinking of you as my friend, I've rashly addressed you as, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I've done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lying on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Purport. Although Krishna is manifested before Arjuna in his universal form, Krishna remembers his friendly relationship with Krishna and is therefore asking pardon and requesting Krishna to excuse him for the many informal gestures which arise out of friendship. He's admitting that formerly he did not know that Krishna could assume such a universal form, although Krishna explained it as his intimate friend. Arjuna did not know how many times he may have dishonored Krishna by addressing him as oh, my friend, oh, Krishna, oh, Yadava, etc., without acknowledging his opulence. But Krishna is so kind and merciful that in spite of such opulence, he played with Arjuna as a friend. Such is the transcendental loving reciprocation between the devotee and the Lord. The relationship between the living entity and Krishna is fixed eternally. It cannot be forgotten, as we can see from the behavior of Arjuna. Although Arjuna has seen the opulence in the universal form, he cannot forget his friendly relationship with Krishna. I read something really interesting in one of the books from, was translated and commented on by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. He was talking about Krishna's activities and behavior. When Krishna reciprocates with his devotees, some devotees are covered by the mode of, or the yoga maya, like Mother Yashoda. She doesn't understand how Krishna is, the supreme controller. Devaki and Vasudeva understood that Krishna is Vishnu, but Mother Yashoda couldn't understand that Krishna was Narayan, and whenever she saw some manifestation, like when he opened his mouth and after he'd eaten dirt, she saw the entire universe, but she just forgot about that. She forced it out of her mind because yoga maya covered her over, and she just thought of Krishna as her baby. And so he was talking about the question of whether Krishna is the same way. I mean, God is always God, but he plays a role, even though he always knows everything. He somehow or other kind of like covers himself over so that he's playing like this in the mode of a human being, and it really doesn't come into his mind unless it is warranted. He plays with his friends just on the level of friendship or whatever, and then he like if there was a forest fire or something, then he would put out the forest fire by inhaling all the flames. But only that arises after, when there's danger, but otherwise he doesn't really even think about it. He's like on automatic pilot with his friends and lovers, and he's in that those relationships seemingly exactly like a human being, but actually he's always God, but he himself may not behave like that, and he's not even aware of it unless the necessity arises. Everything is performed by his multifarious energies, but he's playing like an ordinary human being. And so I'm sure he didn't take offense of Arjuna acting as a friend and joking around with him, but because that's the way he likes to have his devotees related to him, as a friend or as a lover. There's 5 different types of relationship with Krishna, and he doesn't like it. It's not as relishable to him. All the prayers of the Vedas and everything are not as relishable to him as when one of his gopis gets mad at him and starts chastising him, like that. So that's the way he is. And that's just Krishna's nature. And we have to understand Krishna's nature, because if we do, then we go back to Godhead. Whoever understands the nature of my activities does not take birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, Arjuna. So that's a good point. We're out of time already. Do you have any questions or anything?
No. This is one of the more self-explanatory, I think, chapters.
Yeah, we got about 12 more verses. I think it goes up to 55 in this chapter. So we'll start on text 43 next time on Wednesday. Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shik. Appreciate it.
No problem. We'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Good.